Hey, it's Lauren Ohayon, and today I am talking about why are my abs or my belly not flat even though I no longer have a diastasis recti? And I get this question all the time. And so what I'm not answering in this video is why do you want flat abs to begin with and all of that amazing body positive stuff. I am very much body positive. However, I'm also completely understanding of the frustration that comes up when you've healed from a diastasis and your abdominals are still not where you want them to be. So I am not saying I think you need to have flat abs. You'll see in my own body, I don't have that, but I am saying I am completely compassionate to that and can help you uncover why they might not be flat. So if you've closed a diastasis and your abdominals are still not flat, the first thing you need to understand is that having a diastasis and then closing it means that you're still healing. And when a diastasis heals, you haven't really healed the muscles. What you've healed is you've healed the tissue that the muscle's attached to, and tissue takes a long time to heal. It takes a long time to strengthen and a long time to remodel. So this is why a lot of my clients will tell me that they healed a diastasis and they went back to the gym and it opened up again and WTF. It's because you are always healing. Your tissue is strengthening and strengthening as you load it and train it, but it's still a process. So the first thing is that you need to honor the process, that even if your diastasis healed, the system is still figuring itself out and the system is still healing. So you need to give it time. The second thing that happens is people heal a diastasis, but they don't go back to they don't start challenging their core to handle more and more load. So I'm not saying that you go from today to tomorrow and you start deadlifting 300 pounds at all, but I am saying, what have you been doing since your diastasis closed? My rehab program, Restore Your Core, is great for rehabbing a diastasis. It's not great then it's not what you would do for the next level. You would heal your body using Restore Your Core, but then you need to start training your body to handle more and more and more load. So hanging out in Restore Your Core for 5 years is not necessarily going to give, and I'm just being super honest, right? It's not going to give your abs that tone. It's the first step, but it's not the final step. So there is like a series of things that you would want to do to start challenging your core to handle more and more load, which would add more tone to your core. The next thing to understand is the diastasis recti can affect your digestion. So, and I hear this all the time where people are like, I am bloated. By the end of the day, I look 9 months pregnant. What is going on? Well, your digestion, that whole process of digestion is dependent on your muscles. And so if your muscles, again, have taken a bit of a hit and they've had an injury, we can expect that our digestion as well will not be where it was before. And we need to, again, the process that needs to be honored here is time. Time. You cannot rush some of this. The other element is diet. So diet is a big element. I mentioned the digestion. When the digestion takes a hit and it's no longer doing what it was doing before, then you probably need to change your diet. And I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not going to give advice on that, but a lot of my clients have to eliminate gluten or sugar or both in order to really see changes. So they say that abs are made in the kitchen, and I actually really agree to some degree with that sentiment. So we want to do appropriate core training. We want to load our core muscles more. We want to think about time as an element, but we also want to be careful about what we're eating. If your goal is to have flat abs, then we want to be conscious about what we're eating. Upping your exercise routine is really important as well. So doing things where your heart rate, where you're burning more, whether it's through strength training or cardio, is going to be really important. And then being wise about your choices and not going, if you were to run a marathon in 3 weeks, you wouldn't start running the day before. You would be training for like 6-7 months in advance. So if you want to be doing more and more with your body and you want your core to be responding, you need to be training it progressively over time, helping it to adapt to more and more and more. And the final thing I want to say, and this is the biggest reason why I see where my clients' abs are not flat, is because they have too much tension on the side muscles. So on the side muscles, you have, on the side of your waist, you have these oblique muscles. And a lot of my clients are very, very tense right in here. And you can imagine that if I had a ball, or I can just show you on my body, but if these muscles were really tight, they'd be tight and they'd be pushing everything forward. So a lot of my clients, it's not even that they have a big belly, it's the appearance of a big belly because the muscles here are pushing in from the sides, pushing the abdominal wall out. So for that, what I recommend is two things. If you suspect that what's going on in your body is really tight, tense abdominal muscles, specifically the oblique muscles, you want to make sure that when you're doing your core workouts that you are not overusing your obliques. And I have 1,000 videos on that. So pop it in the comments and I will send you to those videos. How do you tell if you're using your obliques too much? Just ask me, I'll tell you in the videos. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is you need to be doing some sort of a myofascial release. And when I say that, people run out and they buy those hard balls and they massage the F out of these muscles. And that is not what I'm saying. In fact, a really gentle myofascial release is more what I'm talking about. You can do it to yourself, but you really need a professional to show you how to do it, where you are releasing the tension in these muscles in a really gentle, kind way. And I have seen that work wonders on my clients. But here's what happens. For my clients who are really in this oblique dominant, overly tense abdominal situation, if they go back into high intensity interval training really too fast, too soon, too quick, it pops out again. So it becomes this interesting seesaw of like the abdominals pop out, then they get flat. They pop out, they get flat. And again, the clients are like, what is going on in my body? Well, you're just adding, when you work out, your core strategy is really imbalanced. You're defaulting into these really strong, tight side waist muscles. You're not like, you're going right back into that pattern. So you just want to be super mindful and cognizant of that. And maybe a high intensity interval training is not your best friend. You need to go for a slow, intelligent strength training instead. So pop your questions into the comments. I'm happy to answer all of them on this subject. It's one that I'm really passionate about.